actually the third installment of Trade Secrets with Lisa Pope, and it's been fantastic. I want to give a shout out to all of my peers and also my friends and clients that have been so supportive, and it has been wonderful for me. I'm excited about this, and things have been moving really, really, really fast. And so today we have a wonderful topic we're going to talk about, and we also are going to address something a little later on today. So everybody that didn't get a chance to watch the show on January 14th, on today, we got to follow up. We got to follow up from that show, and it's been some interesting things that happened. If you saw the show, excuse me, you saw that we had a couple of makeovers that we showed, and I wasn't clear about who the artist was, but we heard from the makeup artist. She gonna be in the studio with us a little later. I can't wait. I think her name is Alexandria. Is that her name? Okay. We're going to be welcoming her later. So make sure you guys log on, get in the chat room so you can voice your opinions and thoughts about that. And so join us in that conversation. That's going to be going on a little later on in the show. But everybody on last Monday, we weren't here. And so everybody had them a nice little, I had a day off. I went into ministry and then I went home and I was sleeping, watching TV all day. And, I saw some, a little bit of Obama's inauguration, and so all of my friends that went out there, I'm glad everybody made it back safely, and everybody had a good time. And it's been some interesting things going on. And so it was also, the King holiday last week, so we weren't here. And so with that being said, everybody was real excited about Michelle Obama and her bangs. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about hair shaping, the rules of hair shaping. And so as a professional, this is what I do, and I claim to do it well because I do. And everybody knows, like I always say, I have beautiful people around me. And so it's my job and it's my objective to make sure we keep it that way. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that today. So if you are online, I see I got Kanita already signed in. Hi, Kanita. Everybody was like, did I miss the show last Wednesday? No, we did not do a show last Wednesday, but whenever there is a show that we go live, if you miss us live, then you can see us on Herb is so incredible. We're available about 5 minutes after the show is over on YouTube. And so that's been fantastic. So a lot of people have been able to see it. And so go to YouTube and make sure you check it out on the old episodes as well. And so one of the things that I wanted to start off with today, and this is going to be addressed to my African-American sisters. I know I have I have a very diverse group of people that follow and that watch this show. And so not to isolate them, but we're going to talk about them for a little while today and our sisters and hair shaping. And when I say hair shaping, I'm talking about the haircut and the idea and the concept of hair cutting that, African-American women, and I don't know if it's because we went through an era where, we didn't have a whole lot of hair to be shedding and to be cutting off and playing with and doing stuff. So when I was coming up, I was one of those kids. My father did hair, and so I had the privilege of having the inside loop into the beauty industry, into the beauty salon. So for me, I kind of had an advantage because I was able to, get a fly haircut, get what I needed in my hair. But a lot of girls grew up not wanting to cut their hair. And even a lot of them, my brother had an issue when his wife first cut her hair. And I remember she has beautiful hair, beautiful brown girl with beautiful hair. She cut her hair and he like to died. And she was like, it's just hair. It's just hair. But it takes, because we're not usually the girls who have long, luxurious hair. So when we do have some hair, we try to hold on to it. We don't even want to get our ends trimmed. Got 15 strands left hanging, and we at the salon like, no, it's okay, I don't want my ends trimmed. But we know that as hair professionals, it is necessary for you to do that. Much like if you didn't cut the grass, you have weeds and straggling, all kind of mess growing in and out of there. If you didn't, if you didn't maintain that level of health through hair cutting, then it's going to be a problem. We see that a lot. But I think that for the most part, it seems as though it's been because in Kanita, Lord have mercy, Kanita, who's one of my clients, that's on in the chat room, has more hair. She got enough to share some hair with all of y'all. Like her hair is down to the middle of her back and thick as I don't know what. So big ups to Kanita, who got a head full of hair, and her whole family. They some hair growing people. But for people who have not necessarily had the privilege to grow long hair, they oftentimes feel some kind of way about cutting it. So we're gonna talk about that today. I'm gonna make you comfortable, and I'm gonna, and by the end of this show, have everybody hopefully want to go get a haircut, or wanting to, to make sure that you're shaped well. because as you know, I have beautiful people around me, and that's what I do. And so I make people beautiful, and this is what our quest and the objective of this show is. And so we're going to talk about that. We got some pictures that we're going to go through and some things. So Herb, you got those emails I gave to you, right? Okay. So we're going to get started. And if you can bring up that first picture, which is a series of facial shapes. Yeah, you see that one? It's just kind of a artist rendition. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this for a minute and how important it is for you to know the shape of your face. And so oftentimes I've had people come in with pictures of Halle Berry and they want their hair cut like Halle Berry, and I'm like, if your face and your facial features don't look like Halle Berry, your haircut being a Halle Berry haircut is not necessarily going to give you that look. You're not going to make you look like Halle Berry. And so when you look at this, and primarily the hair shapes, the facial shapes of most people go in the direction of either heart shape, round, oval, square, oblong. And so we have a few little inverted triangle that's added, a diamond shape that's added onto this figure. But looking at that, once you conceptual, and here's one of the things that you can do to determine your facial shape. So sometimes you can look at it, and because I have a trained professional eye, I can look at a face and I can tell you exactly what your facial shape is. But if you want to get real technical about it, here's what you can do. You can stand in front of a mirror and use a tape measure and measure the width of your face across your cheekbones, across the jaw, and across the forehead. So there's 3 places from the forehead from temple to temple, the cheeks from cheek to cheek, and then your jawline from the bottom of that bone, which is usually right up under your ear, to the other side. So measure it across, and then measure the length of your face from your hairline to your chin. And so based on that, we're going to write down all those 4 measurements, and then a round-shaped face they are as wide as they are long. And so we can see from that round shape that the width of her face is almost the equivalent to the length of her face from chin to forehead. And so that would constitute a round shaped face. And then a heart-shaped face is widest at the cheekbones or at the forehead. So we're looking at that heart shape at the bottom. You see how wide her forehead is in comparison to the length of her face, and it's usually about even. And so oblong face, of course, it's longer than it is wide. Okay, we're going to stop right there, and we're going to go straight to Michelle Obama with that oblong face, with that shape. So look at this, and let's go to that side-by-side. It's a side-by-side shot of Michelle Obama. There we go. So now you can see in that picture on the left the actual shape of her face. And she's a beautiful woman. She is. And she doesn't have the features of Halle Berry or the features of a Beyonce. And Beyonce's features are very simple. What's her name? Halle Berry. Halle Berry's features are very simple. But when you are a woman with different characteristics, different cheekbones, different, and once those measurements and once the shape of that face is determined, and the most common and the easiest face to cut, and the one that basically can wear the most styles, is the oval face. The oval face is the most desirable face. So show that picture of Halle Berry real quick, and we'll see that Halle Berry has an oval shaped face, which is almost perfectly dimensioned. 1 second, we're going to pull it up. So with that oval-shaped face, it's suited for most hairstyles. And we'll see, we're going to show later how Halle Berry actually has several different looks that she has. And she has her hair long. She looks fantastic with it short. It looks fantastic. I saw, what's the movie with her and Eddie Murphy? Boomerang, where the hair was, it was a short, medium look, and it was very nice. And so you can see the shape of her face, that the dimensions are almost even all the way around, and that oval shaped face is ideal for any type of haircut. If you do not have that shaped face, you might have to then listen very carefully as I tell you the rules of facial shape. Your face is a little more oblong than it is oval. You can have a Halle Berry cut, but we'll have to accentuate it with some things.
That shit ain't gonna look right on you like it look like on us.
See, I'm trying to be a self-esteem booster since I've been called a bully. That I ain't no bully. I used to be, I did bully one time before. I will never forget Diane, if you listening. And Diane, when I was in 5th grade, I did beat Diane up. And Diane was taller than me. And I don't know why, for no reason, I wanted to beat up somebody. And I just beat up Diane. And I used to bully her every day. She was so sweet and quiet. And I saw her at the Kingdom Hall like about a year ago with my mom. And I was like, Oh my gosh, Mom, this is a girl that I bullied in school. I beat her up in the bathroom, actually. Yeah, but no. So back to that. So there's some rules and there's some guidelines and some things. And as my hair professionals, if you really, because a lot of stylists do not understand the rules of hair shaping. And because they don't understand the rules of hair shaping, when you go into the salon and a stylist, you ask for a haircut, one thing I'll say, and one thing my clients can attest to is when you come into my salon space, you will not look at a hair book. You probably have never seen a hair magazine in the salon. You haven't noticed that you've never seen a hair magazine. But I do that because I don't want people to be, or clients to have the tendency to look at someone else and be desirous of that for themselves. We head on into the mirror and I want you to look at yourself, and I can gauge and determine for you what is best for your face and for what your look, your body style, your lifestyle. And so it's important as a professional for you to have these things in place and for you to have this level of knowledge. And this is something that's basic that we got in cosmetology school, but sometimes, we may have lost it, or we may have, in the spirit of hair weave, nobody does hair anymore. I don't know, we've gotten off on a tangent of doing things a little differently, but it's necessary to know this because our girls are bald-headed, and we're gonna have to come up with some things to kind of help them. So let's go back to the picture of Michelle Obama and explain what happened, because I talked about her after the inauguration and how this cut and this shaping on her face took years off of her. She has a very unusual jawline. And her teeth are not actually, were not always perfect. And when in the other picture, show the other picture of her before her wonderful bangs. And not only did she get her bangs, not only did she get these bangs cut, but she also got her whole the hair, the totality of her hair shaped, which was a good thing. And so it looks fuller. She does have a few pieces in there. That is the stylist prediction. So, I can see that. But if you look at the picture on the left and you see how long her face is, and so it's almost borderline abnormally long, which there's another girl that's on, I think the name of the show is A Chew. And I can't wait for, I can't remember her name. Yes. What's her name? I can't remember her name. But she has a very peculiar and unusually shaped face as well. And I'm waiting for somebody to get a hold of her and shape her hair. Yes. And when you do that, much like if you see Michelle always, they've always tried to offset it with a side part, and they would always have some hair in her face. And so that was kind of a safe place for Michelle Obama. And but when you look at, if you look at the picture on the right, once she had those bangs cut, it actually shortened her face. And so that is one of the objectives of a hairstylist. Like, you don't see the length of her face anymore, which is a perfect thing to do when you're trying to offset something that may be an undesirable characteristic of your face. And so if you are that person that has one of those, one of those oddly shaped faces or something that, it's necessary. And that's my girl. And it has a very long face, much like Michelle Obama. And her hair is oftentimes pulled back off her face. And I think with the proper hair shaping, her name is it Yvette? Carla. I was about to say, I thought her name started with a C. Yeah, Carla is her name. Yeah. But she has an unusually shaped face, and because of her unusually shaped face, she needs a shaping that will actually accent and that will offset any bad features that she has. So when we look at that and we look at Michelle Obama, I think it was the best thing that could ever happen to her were the bangs. And oftentimes, people look at those bangs and they think, ooh, I'm going to get me some bangs because Michelle got bangs. And so instead of getting bangs because Michelle got bangs, let's go to your stylist, go to the hair professional and find out what is going to be appropriate and what's going to accentuate. And that's what's going to, there she is again, with the long hair. With that hair long, when you look at it, where the ends of her hair stop, and when you're shaping hair, when you look, what draws a person's eye to any hair shape is where the lines end. Much like if you drew an arrow. When we draw an arrow, at the end of the arrow is where your eye goes. And so that's what happens with hair shaping. And so with hers, you looking, it forces you to look at the length of her face. And so it's she, with the proper hair shaping, I think that she would probably even look like a different person. And, we ain't trying to change her, but, it can be a little challenging to watch her sometimes when I see her on the tube because of her. That's my nice way. That's nice. But it's, and it's necessary as professionals for us to know what is appropriate. That is why we are paid what we're paid in order to care for the people that we care for. So it's very important that we, as hairstylists, educate ourselves. Also, that you as a consumer educate yourself so that you understand that when you go into an establishment, if you ask certain questions and based on my facial shape or based on what do you think is appropriate for me, you get the wrong answer, get up and leave, because those are the haircuts that you leave and you're unhappy and you're miserable about. And so my brother actually is a barber, and so I cut hair as well, and it's an art and it's a technique to that, and it's something that even with a barber cut, even with men's cuts, it's necessary, even with a tape line, to give certain dimensions to make sure that you offset any inadequacies or any awkward dimensions on the face. Like I have a very low hairline. Like my hair grows almost to my eyebrows. And, so that gives a stylist, if I was to get my hair cut, it's a little challenging to decide what to do, because bangs aren't necessarily the answer for me, because my hair already grows down on my face and I almost look like a monkey if I had hair, in my face like that. And I see we got Roy saying something he might not be in the chat room. Okay, got to get ready to go. But come on, Michelle got one of them huge Pat Benatar chins. Don't be talking about the first lady. Homeland Security might come for you, okay? I will not participate in that, okay? So whatever, Roy, we are not talking about. And Jay Leno does kind of have that same chin. Jay Leno has that same, awkwardly shaped face. And so it's important to know that. And so if you have any questions or if you're looking to get a haircut, why don't you shoot me a picture? You can go to my Facebook page, which is Oops Lisa Pope LLC. Oops Lisa Pope LLC is my Facebook page. Like the page, you can post pictures on the page. If there's something that you maybe want to get a virtual consult, we'll do that for you. Or you can actually, my Twitter account is Lisa Pope, the number 1 word, WORD, Lisa Pope, LISAPOPE, the number 1. And then WORD is my Twitter account. You can go there. And then my Instagram is Lisa Pope, one word as well. So you can check me out on Instagram. And we're going to keep talking about this. We're going to keep talking about hair shaping. We're going to keep talking about that. And we're going to go to some pictures of some folks that have some interesting. And I have a picture of Holly Berry with her hair long. Show that picture of Holly Berry. Her dress is hot, too. And then we got another of Iman.
I got the picture of Iman.
You got Iman? Okay, we can bring Iman, but pull Iman up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Iman's face is a very aesthetically correct face as well. Her face is not quite oval, but if you see her when her hair is pulled back off her face, she actually has almost a heart-shaped face because her forehead is very wide. And that's that Ethiopian characteristic. They have wide foreheads primarily. And so with that, you see what they've done. Her hair is not necessarily, it is shaped very well. It's not necessarily long. It's not necessarily short, but the length of it draws your eye to a specific location, and it perfectly wraps and embraces her face. And so it's a perfect look for her that she has. So that side part with that swooping kind of gives your eye a little bit of dimension so you don't look directly head on. With that wide forehead, if she had a flat bang, it would actually make her forehead look even wider. And so understanding conceptually that, the artist, you've never seen her. I don't think I've ever seen her. If they did, it may have been a very narrow bang that she's worn because she's a model. So they have her in different looks. And so that could be, a potential look, abstract look for her. Do you have the picture of Taraji?
Yes.
Okay, pull the picture up of Taraji. And Taraji's facial shape. And this haircut on her, I absolutely love. And her face is actually a round face. She has a very round face. The dimensions, it's almost like the width of her face is as even as the height of her face. And so with this look and with this, the way that the lines fall when her hair is cut, offsets the eye so that you don't look necessarily at making her face look any wider. If she had a bang, it would be inappropriate for her face as well, because it would make her face look even wider. And so that's one of the rules that we don't want to make a round face. You don't want to give bangs to someone with a round face because it will widen it. And so with that, you see how the hair is longer on the sides, which gives it the illusion of narrowing her face. And so this is a very appropriate and beautiful haircut. I love, 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 love this. And it's nice and full, and Taraji works that, and she owns it. And so one of the things too about, us brown girls who have found ourselves loving hair, and now we got 40 inches or more, and it's just a comfortable place. And so when you see girls with lots of hair, and I don't know if you found the picture of Holly Berry. Did you find the one? Let me see if I can send it. Yeah, we got some pictures. Let me see. Mike said, look at the picture of Rihanna. Rihanna has a very huge, well, I ain't gonna say huge, but she has a protruding forehead. And she has a very oblong face as well, but most of the weight of her face is on her forehead. And I don't know if I sent a profile picture of Rihanna. But Rihanna, the one thing I can say about her is that she owns whatever look she's in. But oftentimes her forehead is covered, which is necessary, but she can offset her look wearing a tapered look and doing something like that, which I think is fantastic. And it draws your attention directly to her eyes, which are the dominant feature of her face, besides that forehead that you don't want to look at or necessarily want to accentuate, but it forces you to look at her eyes when you cut the hair in a shape that draws the attention to her eyes. And so I've seen her in long hair, and she's done a few other things, but I think that by far the short coiffure for her is the most popular and the most desired, the most liked look that Rihanna has. And so let me see if I can send this picture to you of Holly Berry. And when you look at this, I want you to tell me the first thing that you see when you look at this.
Yeah, it's a stark difference between that picture and the other picture.
Yes. Like, you don't see her eyes, you see face, but you see hair. The first thing you see when you look at that picture is hair. You don't see her face, but the other picture actually, where the hair stops, it draws your eye directly to her face. It forces you to look at her face. And so oftentimes, I know my sister girls may be trying to take the focus off of their faces. And sometimes, that's, we talked about insecurities. We talked about, ways that inadequacies that we have as women. And those inadequacies sometimes can be overwhelming. They can be a little more than we want to even acknowledge. And look at this picture. And this is an early Rihanna look. This is before she got a real stylist. She got a shaving on one side, but all you see is hair. You don't really, you see forehead and hair. You see forehead and hair. And so, once she, and sometimes it takes a little bit of experimenting to find out, or at least finding someone who has a talent and who has a know-how to go there and to give you what you want straight on. And my clients will tell you, when they come in, they sit down and it's, Lisa decides what's best for me. And there's a level of respect, and there's a level of confidence that my clients have in me. And I appreciate that. Because, it's necessary, because when you're going through changes, or things are happening, the same look isn't always going to work for you. My mother, I keep trying to talk her into cutting her hair back off, because her hair, this one haircut that she had was actually fantastic. The older she gets, the longer the hair, it actually makes you look older. And so partly the reason why Michelle Obama, when she cut that hair off, actually took years off of her face. So did you get that? I don't think that you look old. First of all, your face is incredibly young, an incredibly youthful face, and I can't imagine what you could do to make you. Besides the fact that you got a head full of gray hair that don't nobody know but me and the hairstylist. Me and the hairstylist. Really? Who said that? Some man or woman? A man said that? I'm surprised. I don't think that she looks old. She looks older.
Y'all don't know we talking about our partner in crime over here.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Janelle. Janelle's in the studio, and so we've been going back and forth about this and this hair. When she's growing her hair, she can wear her hair long or short. If your hair looks beautiful long, and as it was growing out, it was beautiful. And those mid-length. Well, that's because you have a youthful face. I think they want to see your face because your face is young, and maybe they think because the longer your hair, the more it hides your face. Maybe that's the conception. Here's a picture of Holly Berry. When you look at this picture of Holly Berry, what's the first thing you see? Hair. You don't even look at her face. You see hair. And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's actually a very nice look, and she looks, beautiful. And she, like I said, that oval face is one that pretty much can wear anything. You can wear any shape But when you look at it and it's just long, all you see is hair. So for my sisters who have this extreme adornment that we have been so investing in the past couple of years, that we've made some Indians rich and some Indian women bald-headed over in India that are sacrificing their hair to the temple, and y'all sisters wearing it. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to go in on y'all about this hair and how much you're paying for it, and is it really human hair? Is it really human hair? Yeah, but what are they doing with the hair once it's sacrificed?
She looks better with long hair, though.
Why? Because you like hair.
Well, no.
Are you
she
attracted
gets more
to
attention? Well, a woman gets more attention with longer hair.
You think so?
I think so. Yes. When you see a woman from behind, if you got a man that walk up for
that's
to
if you're a man that loves
behind,
hair.
and he see a woman with long hair from behind, and see a woman with short hair from behind, he's going to immediately be interested in what the woman with the long hair looks like.
Really?
when he
Is that?
sees
Do
it
you
from the
think
front.
that's because you just like long hair?
No, it's just natural. It's a man. It's a male
What you say,
thing.
Herb?
I can kind of agree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean-
Don't be scared because he's my brother.
No. I mean, because when you see the long hair, the first thing you want to see is the face.
Because you think that she's got to be beautiful because she got long hair? I wonder if that's a black man thing.
But let me say
Well,
this.
you weren't created with short hair. We know that. So the fact
All
is,
babies are bald headed.
No, I'm talking about
Oh.
created. Eve more than likely had long hair.
He said
Okay, so
Eve
it's a
more than
natural-
likely had long hair.
More than likely.
Because she
Pretty
had no,
sure she
cause she
did.
had no stylist to cut it for.
Or let me say this.
Or a relaxer to put in it.
Maybe
had
not
no-
necessarily long,
she had no
but,
juices
but,
and
but
berries
nice
in it.
looking hair. Let's say that. If I see a woman from the back that has nice looking hair, I want to know
Right,
what.
right.
the rest.
Because if you see her and you see a nice, I mean, and some men like short hair, or they can appreciate short hair,
Right.
but it needs to be well kept. And I think that's one thing that men have a fear of. I think with women is short hair, that they don't keep it up.
Well, it takes a lot more.
Yeah, and it does
maintenance.
take a little more work. I don't know. Well, it does take a little more work.
Because you got to keep
To
the
do-
back
but-
shaved. If you have it
Yeah,
shaved in the back,
you do
gotta
have to keep it
trimmed
cut.
up.
You have to maintain it. And a cut is a commitment. And so that's one of the things that Michelle Obama said about her bangs, that it was a commitment. And with it being that it was a commitment, sometimes it takes a little more for you to make the decision to cut your hair. Because it's a commitment. I mean, I cut my bangs and they'll be back in 2 months. They'll be down to my chin in 2 months. So, and it requires you to
You
keep
are not your hair, and you're not attached to you.
right. It ain't
See,
watching
the other
it grow.
thing too, a woman can, if she's got long hair, she can convert from long hair to short. to pull
To
it
an
back.
updo or something, yeah, that'll give
it's
her
more
an
a different
alternative.
look without having to.
I
But see,
understand.
with short hair, you just got that one look. You can't really go to anything else.
Yeah.
I was okay with that though for 6 years. I was okay.
What, with short hair? I mean, as long as you coming in, I think with any hair, I don't care if it's short or long, you need to keep it up. And we have Exude Beauty in the chat room, and she said, I thought the bangs made her look older, as well, but distinguished. I was thinking they wanted to give her a more mature look, like Barack wearing his gray. Right. I want Barack to kind of dye his gray, gracefully dye, but he look all right. He look all right. I think Mike is right. Long hair is a man thing. Hey, Mike and Lisa.
Well,
Hey,
it's a
Michelle.
natural.
That's
it's
Michelle
a
Parks.
natural thing. Men
Yeah.
are created with that.
And I can see that. And I think that women have, so women who can't naturally grow hair long. My hair, has not always been this length, and I remember cutting my hair for the first time when I cut it off right after I had Bria. And people thought I was crazy. My mom was like, baby, the next time you are going through something like that, just call me. Don't cut your hair off. Remember in Wait and Exhale? That was that dramatic and that, it's almost like an act of defiance. Your father didn't speak?
When Dana cut my hair, he went to see Dana,
Wow.
and he was mad when I was like 16 and I cut my hair off. And he
Wow.
went to see Dana. And Dana was like, we ain't cut your hair no more. He better shake me
Shut up.
Because he went to see her.
Well, see, my dad did hair, so I don't think that my dad, I didn't get that necessarily get that idea that you have to have long hair.
I was born with no hair.
Yeah.
Like Leatrice had all the hair. She was born with thick hair. All of this was bald.
Right.
All of this was bald. And my father worked with it with Glover Mane and some other stuff.
Glover's
And
Mane, I'm
he
done.
had to pinch it and
Right.
something to the scalp and work with the scalp so that the follicles would do and so they grow. But I was bald for like
Yeah.
probably the first 2 years.
So did that make you want to have hair? Like, do you feel like it made your father want you to have hair? And oh my God, when you cut
I
it,
think he thought
it
when I
was a
cut
problem.
It wasn't going to grow back because of how long
Because it took so long to
make
grow
it
it. I understand.
grow.
And I
he
think
thought
that
once he cut
somewhere
it-
in the psyche of us as women, we feel the need to have long hair, which I think probably attributes to the idea and the fact that, we bind more hair. They breaking in and stealing more hair than ever in the history of mankind. Has everybody been, wearing extensions
Well,
and
what's
addicted
trending
to
too
things.
on TV,
Yeah.
what the people see on TV and the women in the videos.
But it's such an artificial look for me. I look at it and I see artificial. If I do a hair weave and my clients that are my hair weave clients, it's always I can't bring myself to give you more weight than you could actually grow yourself. Yeah. But now my girls, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, your hair would never be that thick. It would never be that full on its own. I mean, there are people like Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore has a beautiful head of hair, and that grows right. April, my brother's wife, has a beautiful head of hair that will grow dense and thick as long as she will let it grow. But the average woman doesn't have that. And so to create the desire for it, exactly. And the reality is in your 20s is when a woman will have the most hair she'll ever have in her life. Is in her 20s. In her 20s is that time when you get into your 30s, you start to lose. You don't have as much hair. Kenya Moore, that's all her hair.
She looks like April.
She does. She does look like your wife. She looks just like my sister-in-law. And so they have the same texture hair. That's all her hair. And she has a texture of hair that is very dense. She has a lot of hair strands, and the hair strands themselves are very dense, and they're very thick. And so when her head is adorned with that, then she can wear a mane that's that thick and that's full. But the average woman, like not even Halle Berry, could grow her hair and it would look that thick. As Halle Berry's hair gets longer because of the texture of her hair, it would thin out and it would be weightless. And it would just lay, and it wouldn't be, her hair Kenya Moore's hair could have as much volume as she wanted, and so probably for that reason, she is, she sticks to having long hair, which is, it's okay, but I don't want our sisters to be afraid of getting haircuts or because once you get into your 30s, once you're in your 40s, you start to lose even more hair than that, and so as you get older, it's the grim reality that you're not going to have as much hair as you once had. And so that's why I drill into my daughter and the kids that are in college right now, like, just take care of your hair. This is the most hair you're going to ever have in your life, but they doing all kind of things, and half of them shaved and bald-headed and thinned out and doing things. So it's important for them to, to take good care of it.
I don't think men like the artificial weave look, even though it makes a woman's hair longer.
Right.
A man really likes just a natural-looking woman.
Right. Right.
And then when she's natural, that confidence. Even like for a man, confidence is important. It's important for women too to have that confidence.
Right. And Keisha Sullivan and I were talking about that this morning, about it doesn't matter. She's like, I have been, and she sent me a picture of her when she was 26, which was 10 years ago. And she looked 10 years older than she does now at 36. And I told her I was going to say that about her. So don't be saying I'm bullying or I'm on doing some bullying tactics or whatever. But no, really, because she was overly made and she had some issues that it was easier for her to just hide them. And we were talking about how she was like, now I go out, I wanted to be able to go out with no makeup on and be comfortable. And so she's like, now I go out with no makeup on and I get more numbers. People asking me for my exactly, and that's exactly what she said. She was like, there's a level of confidence that I had, because prior to that, when I had to wear makeup to go out, I was always feeling like I was hiding. Yeah, and there was a level of insecurity. And so, when she goes out I was telling her that I went to the Hawks game on Shanti Daz and I, big up to my girl Shanti Daz. We always at, Hawks game. And we went to the Hawks game on Friday night to see my Boston Celtics. And I love the Celtics, so it was bittersweet for me. But we didn't realize where our seats were until we got there. When we went to go pick up our seats, we were courtside. And I was like, I did not get dressed for courtside.
You didn't comb your hair,
and no, I ain't comb my hair, because I did not comb my hair. But I had on not even an ounce of lip gloss, nothing. So we go and we get down to these seats. So we sitting courtside, and I'm like, I'm not, I ain't look like a bag lady, but I wasn't dressed like if I had known I was sitting courtside, I probably would, I would have prissed myself up to, be noticed in case the cameras pan. So when I got down there, I was like, whatever, honey, here comes the tomboy about to come out in me, because I'm not even dressed apart to be bougie and cute. So I get there, and every man around my seat was, oh my God, you are beautiful. You are so beautiful. Old man sitting behind me, he couldn't. I'm like, dude, are you watching the same game I'm watching? Because you've been talking to me the whole time. And he's, but it said something about that, in the rawest of my, and I was, I was I look decent. I wasn't trying, it wasn't, I wasn't in impress mode. And we talked about that, how we feel sometimes that we have to
You weren't
impress.
overdressed.
Right.
But you don't have
No, I
to.
was extremely casual.
Yeah,
But
casual,
Lisa, you're
natural.
also a person where you don't have to wear makeup. I don't wear makeup. I don't put on.
No, it ain't
makeup
even about wearing makeup. It's about the look.
no,
You
but
want to
when
have a
men
certain
see
look
the
when you
woman-
courtside.
but no,
Because Beyonce, when
why?
she court, I don't know, because that's
Well,
just
why?
the image that
She's
has been
right,
portrayed
because, see,
upon
when a
us.
man sees a woman with a lot of makeup, it says insecure.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
So
what it
Exactly.
says.
here you are sitting courtside, and you ain't got an ounce of makeup on. You damn sure ain't combed your hair. We know that. And
Whatever.
at that point, you haven't combed your hair. You don't have no makeup on. You courtside. And the man sees you come and sit down. You probably had on a pair of jeans. or something
Yeah,
you
man,
just
some
threw
boots, some
on.
flat boots,
Exactly.
and so I could
And
jump
you
up in the
had
chair and
makeup on,
scream.
you still had a certain level of beauty. They noticed that.
Right.
That's what that's
And it was interesting. It was very interesting because it was a very noticeable thing. And every man, so we went to this bar afterwards, and and I'm not unaccustomed to that. I'm used to getting attention, and I'm like, wait till you see me when I dolled up, and they're like, we don't really care about you dolled up. And the reality is, women are more concerned about that than men are, and I think that there's more effort that puts into it. So I can't wait. It's about we should be getting Alexandria in the studio. She should be coming in and joining this conversation. So this is the perfect build up to that, because women have, I think, kind of fallen down the path of thinking that the more perfect or the more polished or the more perfected a look is, that the more desirable, that it means that they're more desirable or that they're more attractive. You may look shockingly attractive, or it may be something that immediately catches your eye, but for men, they're just very simple
Nicki
creatures.
Minaj. Nicki Minaj is
Is
not
a
the kind of
stranger.
woman you imagine that you really want to be with.
Of course
She
not.
looks good on TV, but the average ordinary man.
Not even the shape of her body. Like, no man wants a
Well, I mean,
woman
he likes that. Now that's nice.
with a. I'm a fight him.
Now,
Oh,
but
man.
it will change.
That's
Right,
nice.
I can't even imagine. Okay, I can't even imagine no man wanting somebody with. But her butt is like, those booties are hard. They're not like. They're not nice, soft.
But that's okay.
Ply-
Though. I think most men will be all right with that.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, but there's this concept and this idea of this whole put on, or this over adorning. And I think that at one point at this point it has become issue, and it's become issue in our culture, and it's become issue in a lot of ways that we're gonna address. We're gonna talk about it. And so let me just give a little preempt to what's about to happen here in the studio in case some stuff start happening, some drama go on up in here. No, I'm just kidding. But last week we talked about, or not last week, on the 14th of the show, we talked about, and can you bring up those, do you have those pictures? Mm-hmm. Okay, bring up one or two of those makeovers that we showed last show. And we talked about it, and we had a very invigorating conversation about this makeover. And so today we're going to have in the studio with us the makeup artist that actually posted these pictures, and this is actually her work. And we talked about it, and we're going to have a follow up. We're going to have a follow up about this look, and this young lady who is the client of our guest that's about to be in the studio with us. So we're excited to have her coming in and discussing, because she didn't quite agree necessarily with some of the things, I guess, that we said on the show, and I'm kind of confident about what I said, and it's so funny that the Keisha that just left, her face used to look just like that top left
That's
picture.
a nice balance. That's not overdone.
Right,
That's
right.
a nice balance of makeup.
And understanding the coverage that she needed. Now that to me was a more natural look. A more natural look than.
I think too, the older you get, the less makeup you should wear.
Hey, how are you? Good. Come on in.
The younger you are, you might be able to wear a little bit more.
This is my brother. Great to meet you. My name is Lisa Pope.
Nice to meet
Pleasure.
you. Lisa Pope. Alex.
Alex, nice to meet. This is my brother Mike Pope. He's security in case you try to jump me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Yeah. So we have in the studio with us Miss what is your you just go by Alex?
Alexandra Butler.
Alexandria Butler. So welcome Alexandra Butler to the studio, everybody. And welcome to FM Live family. I'm glad you decided to come. I am. Grateful to have you. Grateful to. So we want to talk about it. We want to give you a minute and allow you to express your comments, because I saw your situation on Essence.com. One of my clients came by driver. girl, I came to show you what she said. And I was like, okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I knew that this show was going to do exactly what it did, was going to strike up some conversations. And I'm glad that we're able to do that. And so we got you on camera, you know.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. She said, let me get camera ready, baby.
Right.
There you go. So, yeah, that's your camera right there. So we got Alexandria, and welcome again to Alexandria Butler that's here with us today. And so last week I was just giving the listeners a little, Sunny said hi.
Who?
Sunny.
Hey, Sunny.
Yeah. She actually called in last week, right?
Oh, cool.
And the person who called in last week, and we were having a conversation about the makeover. So the makeover that we showed that we showed last week was the work of Miss Alexandria, and we're gonna show it real quick again, if you could. Her. So this is one of the looks, and I think one of the guys that was in the studio last week actually knew her. So I got these pictures off Facebook or somewhere on some media
they're all over the
website they were
place.
on. So I actually stole them off of there and brought them in for the show. And this was one of the looks that we had a conversation about as well. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and express yourself.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I think I heard about the video, this video from one of my followers on Facebook.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they posted it on my fan page. And these pictures, it's really, really crazy because had I known that they would have went global or went, buck wild all over the internet, I would have, did something. Because I had no clue. Like, it was just me doing makeup for a client in my bathroom. So,
Wow.
I don't really
In your
know.
bathroom?
Oh, yeah, that's
Wow.
what I do, yeah.
Okay.
So, it was crazy. So now, like, this image has gotten out. I've had folks that are claiming that it's their work. Say, oh, yeah, it's been crazy. I have celebrities
Honey, I've
posting
had that
here.
happen a million times.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
been in this
it's
business
nothing
for
new.
25 years.
Exactly, it's nothing new. But had I known that, I would have, watermark stamped it across the board and just, put a kind of disclaimer on it. My biggest concern, and this is why I reached out to Essence and wanted to do an article, was, all of us have flaws, first and foremost. We all have flaws. Some of us, we can cover them up. Some of us, we can't cover them up.
Right.
These two particular young ladies, and I actually spoke to Tiffany, this young lady right here with the purple eyeshadow.
Okay.
I spoke with her today and just wanted to check up on her, make sure she's okay, because
Right.
I saw...
Hi, Tiffany. Shout out to Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany. I just wanted to make sure she was okay because I know that the image has gotten out more and more and more.
Right.
It was basically just us covering up her flaws. It was her birthday.
Okay.
She wanted to look special. Everyone that knows her knows about her flaws. I mean,
Right.
it's not like she's trying to get a man
Right. I
and
understand.
trick a man. It wasn't. It had nothing to do with that.
Gotcha. I understand.
She has been ridiculed for these flaws, and she says she's been battling this since she was in high school. When she goes through stressful situations, she just recently
Breaks
had her
out.
father pass, divorce, all this kind of things. It gets worse.
Gotcha.
And so she was feeling a little insecure about that, and I, being the makeup artist that I am, wanted to make sure and help, fix those insecurities the best way that I could.
I got you.
So that's one thing I just wanted to make sure that it was clear, was that she wasn't out here trying to go to the club and then wake up next to some guy and all of a sudden, this is my face.
Because that's what men say.
Yeah.
First thing they
Women were
say.
saying it too.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is? The guy, what's his name? That was on the couch.
Shelly.
Shelly.
Tommy and Shelly.
Shelly said that I think the girl in the top left is beautiful.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
And I was like, and that's the point. But it wasn't about Tiffany, because I don't know Tiffany, and I don't know anything about Tiffany or her concerns, or whether this was makeup for a photo shoot or what the makeup was for. But it was what we were discussing was the images that are portrayed and the images of perfection and the fear and the problem with projecting perfected images, or even with women perfecting themselves, because then your inadequacies become compounded. And that was pretty much the premise of the show and the direction that we were talking about in the conversation here in the studio. And one of the concerns, and the reason why I even brought it up, was because I have a fear of perfection. Because I know I don't know no perfect man but Jesus, and I don't really know him except what I know of him and read about him, and I have but not to be able to, set that standard and not be able to compensate if somebody could not measure up to it. And so as an artist, you have a responsibility, a dual responsibility. One, to do the best work that you can, which I think that work is incredible. It's phenomenal. When I saw that was the first thing I said. I was like, she bad. Like, whoever this chick is, I don't know whose pictures I don't stole. No, really. And I'm like, she's very talented. And I've been in the beauty industry my whole life. And so I've seen a lot of things, and as an artist, it's great work. But the image and the idea, I think, that we are battling with as a culture and as a people are, I'm frightened by things like that when I see them, because you project the image. I have a 20-year-old daughter. So when my daughter looks at something and she's like, oh, I'm about to do that purple eye and da-da-da-da-da, and she wants the perfect contouring, and I taught her makeup application, so she's a beast with it. But I'm like, okay, you went too far. You know, I'm like, wait, you went too far. And I came to her school, because she goes to school at Tuskegee, and she had a full face of makeup on going to class. And I was like, whoa. Like, bring it back. Let's reel this back in. Like, why would you feel the need to do that?
Right.
And that was, and things like this. And Beyonce was really the premise of the show last week, and her perfectness. And I think that Beyonce is beautiful, but it's a fear that the women who are very inadequate or who have lots of flaws have to try to measure up to this in order to be accepted. And we had the men in the studio basically to attest to the fact that men don't really care about your flaws. Like, we love you more flawed than we do perfected. Yeah, so I appreciate that input though. And then there was another girl that what's the other girl? She was was she a younger girl?
Bianca. Yeah, it was her 21st birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was young. Again, you know, when she came to me, you know, normally when folks come to me and they want their makeup done, they'll come with no makeup on their face.
Right, of course.
She came to me with a full face already on.
Shut up.
Because she doesn't, you know, she
Go
doesn't
out
do
at
that
all.
whole no makeup thing.
Right.
So for me, and I saw what face she had on, I'm like, okay, it may not have matched. It may not have looked correct on her. So my thing was, okay, well, so if you're going to do that, let me just show you the right way to do it.
Gotcha.
Which is why we did the more natural look on her. Something that's kind of, you know, a little bit more age appropriate, something that she can possibly do on her own. Again, she had very large insecurities, and it was crazy because that day was her birthday. She was feeling so good about herself, saw the really positive comments, and all it took was the one negative comment, and then more and more that shut it down and ruined her birthday.
For her? Oh,
literally,
wow.
Literally
Who, people that were actually there?
No, like just from seeing from my Instagram.
People,
because you know, as soon as I do their makeup, I post it on Instagram.
Oh,
so I guess on her drive,
I don't think I saw it on Instagram.
Yes, that's where it first originally went. As soon as she got, you know, that drive to her, you know, birthday dinner, and she's reading these comments, and it just all of a sudden just kind of so that's why I kind of think it's very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate that people, but you got to understand too that when you get out there, and we were talking about Frank Ocean earlier, about celebrity ain't always good place. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not a very sound and solid spirit, then it will chew you up.
Right.
And Instagram is instant celebrity. Right. And unfortunately, it's a scary place. You know, it's a scary place. Like my daughter, I'm like, you just need to be careful everything that you post, because you don't know how somebody else is going to respond. And, you know, she's like, Mom, you got 16 likes on the picture. I'm like, I don't need no likes, because I don't need a false sense of pride or false sense of self. Right, because of what somebody else said that don't even know me.
Right.
You know, they don't know, like, that the dress that I had on that was beautiful cost $4. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are my little family secrets. But, you know, people, and I think, I don't know what it is. And so for us, I think a part of Trade Secrets with Lisa Pope, my objective is to build up. And I know that you said that, you know, you felt like there was some bullying, and I'm not sure. I was like, clearly she wasn't talking about us.
No.
But then when you said the Instagram, I said, well, probably were some really mean-spirited people that were on Facebook. Yeah, I didn't even read it. I didn't even read the comments or anything that was on
It was literally disgusting.
Facebook. And I can imagine. I can only imagine. That's why I don't even read them. I don't even read that stuff, because I already know, like, people are so wicked.
It sucks because they didn't choose that. You know, I know celebrities are in the limelight and they get ridiculed.
I understand.
These two young ladies did not choose it. This is me posting about my work, about me doing makeup,
and it
you know,
basically
what I do.
villainized them.
And it went crazy. Like, there's another picture I have to show you of a young lady I just did this past weekend that had vitiligo. So had white patches on her eyes, and that picture has went bananas already. Like over 2,500 likes.
So
on
now,
Facebook,
as an artist,
Instagram.
what do you think it is? What do you think that you need to do, or what responsibility do you have going forward now that you know that this happens? Like, what do you think as artists? And I'm not gonna say you, but I'm saying myself as an artist as well.
Well, one for me, to make sure with my client that it's okay, because I have to. This is my advertisement. This is how I get my work out there.
Right.
So I can't stop doing this. I can't stop putting my pictures out.
I understand.
But for folks that I know have a skin condition or have insecurity about their skin, asking them, making sure it's okay with them, making sure that it's, you know, they understand that, look, I have a lot of followers, I have a big following, a big platform. Is it okay if I put this out here?
Gotcha.
The young lady this weekend, like I said, that had the vitiligo, she was like, I want you to put it out there because I know that there's others that are out there that have it that don't know how to cover it or don't feel as though they can come out without it. And I want them to be able to see both sides of it.
I understand.
So it's a positive thing, and then we're trying to make it a positive thing, and I'm trying to make others aware. Be careful of what you say.
Right.
You have a daughter that's 20. This young lady that was in the picture was 21. So you never want to kind of throw insults or bash other young ladies, and not saying that you all did. Right. But it was so many that was just, it was crazy. Like I had to go on complete damage control after all of this. I still am.
And I'm sorry, and that's unfortunate. And I apologize on behalf of social media for that, because I've had and it is a very touchy subject. It's a very sensitive situation when you're dealing with women in beauty. Like I've been in this business for a long time, and I know how women are about you giving somebody the same haircut that they have. How crazy it can be. And so I've just taken a huge responsibility in building up and encouraging. And my thing is that when I looked at that, my objective in even bringing it on to this show was to show that we didn't have to be perfect. Right. Not to say that this that this makeup job was not fantastic or it wasn't, appropriate, And even because I had another girlfriend of mine, I just went to a book signing, and I was like, is that Cheryl? I was like, dang, like, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess me coming up, I never felt the need to be that extreme. You know what I'm saying? Because
me neither.
People who've seen me, they like, you look the same every time we see you. I'm like, I clean up sometimes, and I look real cute. I put on some eyeshadow, some stuff. I do. And I'll take a picture. But for the most part, I want people to be comfortable with the regular Lisa. Right. And it took a while. I was a brown girl who always felt inadequate. Like coming up, I was a tomboy. Our brothers used to rough me up, and I wasn't the girly girl. And it took a while for me to grow into my womanhood. And I'm a grown woman now, and I'm proud about that.
That's right.
But it took a lot of self-development.
Right.
And I think that that's one of the things that as artists we need to carry the responsibility of self-development. So we can. I can do your hair and make you look fantastic and fabulous, and you go home and you feel like garbage. You know what I'm saying? So in my chair, people will tell you, like, the conversations in the salon are very upbuilding. Constantly, you know what I'm saying? It's not about mess and garbage or whatever, or even about your inadequacies. It's upbuilding, and I think that we have a responsibility towards the youth especially, and towards our peers. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some unhappy people. Yeah, and you can't really be responsible for their unhappiness. And even for people who are unhappy who comment and do things, because they have to understand that you can't be responsible for somebody else's opinion, and they are entitled to it. They're entitled to it, but on the same token, it's difficult. It's difficult and challenging.
I think I definitely agree. I think that as a whole, like, not even just as artists, I think we all have a responsibility. You know what I mean? Just to kind of be uplifting. Because like I said before, this could be your daughter, this could be your grandma, your mother, it could be you. Right. So and people are watching you. When you're bashing a young lady, because I remember they were saying like she looks like chocolate chips or something because of the, things like you're saying crazy things like that. What if your daughter ends up having the same skin? Are you gonna say that to her? Yeah. Like, we all have a responsibility to be uplifting throughout our community as Black women, as Black men, as people. As a whole, it's 2013 now. Like, we need to get off of the, insecurities. We need to help each other.
And we're just gonna close up with some people in the chat room. Miss Fufu Simone says, I love makeup, but can we just admit that makeup does cover up, but also can enhance beauty, and that's true. And so I think finding the balance, and I think that sometimes when we do, these are what I don't remember. I don't know how old you are, but I remember when there were glamour shots, and people went to glamour shots, and glamour shots was like the new in thing, and you went to glamour shots in order to be somebody different for that moment and take those pictures and to capture those moments of being this fabulous you. But you didn't stay there. Nobody went there and was like, oh, I want to look like I did at glamour shots tomorrow at work. And so I think that now it's just become this idea that I can look like this all the time, or this expectation that I should look like this all the time. And that's my concern. That's my concern for the 21-year-old, is that it's okay, like, flawed and all, like, at the end of the day, that's going to be who you are. And now, can we address the issues? I have a client of mine who's having some issues, and I'm like, look, let's address what's going on. Get on the phone, get the dermatologist on the phone with me while you're there with her, so I can tell her what my take is on it, and I can ask them from a professional perspective certain questions that you may not know how to ask, or vice versa. And so it takes more than just us dominating our craft, because you can become a makeup artist that can and I was talking to Miss Sophia last week that when I was introduced to MAC makeup, it was in the drag queen industry. And that was a whole nother beast. You know what I'm saying? And that was what it was designed for. It was designed to make your nose go from here to here.
Very theatrical.
It was made, and it was for theatric. And so I think that it's becoming commonplace for us to do it in everyday looks. You know what I'm saying? In everyday. And I think that we kind of need to lend caution to that behavior, only so that we don't set a standard that we can't measure up to, or that we don't find ourselves too far gone. Because once, now that I have this, and that's happened with plastic surgery. It's happened with so many things that people now just like, okay, you gone too far. Like, you've gone too far. So, and it's hard to, and for my people and for the young people that I influence and that I have an influence on, I don't want them to have that experience, because it can be devastating. I've had girls that I know have become suicidal.
Oh yeah,
because of them
that's
not
why
feeling
I'm like,
exactly, and it's something to be concerned about.
And reality television has played a major role in people thinking, oh, that's real life, and they look like this. I work on set of a reality television
I was
show
about to
every
say,
day.
you already know how much hair and makeup. We done been there and done that.
Trust me,
how much hair and makeup
Atlanta
is required.
So people, it's a kind of a skewed reality, because people see that as reality, and they're like, oh, well, if they got it, the Kardashians got it, then we gotta have it. So it's a skewed reality, because in all honesty, those ladies do not look like that every day.
Clearly.
At all, or else I wouldn't have a job.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
yeah, it's just common sense, and we just have to help educate each other and uplift each other. That's all.
And I appreciate that. Yeah. I think that this conversation will continue, because I don't think that the two of us sitting here today are gonna make as big a wave as we need to make. So we need to continue this conversation. I support you in continuing this conversation. Hopefully you'll support me in continuing it as well, just to raise awareness for self-worth and for self love, and to feel like this right here is, give me a break. And I know Rashida. Rashida can actually beat her makeup herself. And Rashida can beat her own makeup. That's my dog.
She does her
like,
makeup
that's
very
my
well.
girl. I mean, I've known Rashida since before her and Kurt got married. Like, I've known her for a very long time, and she's a beautiful girl.
Oh, yes.
But she's a naturally beautiful girl.
Very.
So Rashida can go out and, with her hair in a curly bun, because she has naturally cute, beautiful curly hair too, and pull her hair up and walk out. But I don't know if that child on the right can do that. What's the name? Jocelyn.
She is a beautiful girl. She just.
I don't know if she can go in the raw, because you've
strong
set a
features.
standard and expectation that's so high. You follow what I'm saying? And so it's just, we're gonna keep talking about this.
Absolutely.
And so it's 4:02, so we're gonna wrap it up for today. And I appreciate it. I think we've had a wonderful conversation. We talked about some hair shaping, and we also did a follow-up of the show last week and about the makeup. So now you got the background story on those makeup looks that we saw last week. And so the guys, I'm sure they're gonna have their 2 cents to put in after
Come on
this.
with it.
They gonna have their 2 cents to put in.
It's fine.
And it's fine. And we appreciate that, because they actually balance the spirit of the women who, and that's a great makeup job. That's incredible.
Man, that's awesome.
That's fantastic. And I think
and
that
it was natural. I mean,
and that's what my brother was saying about the 21-year-old.
Yes.
He was like, that's an acceptable makeup job, and I thought so too.
And
but
that's
we
what
were
I'm supposed to do.
you know where the conversation stemmed from, and so that was our objective. And so all of us have issues. We don't want to hide them. We want to address them.
Right.
And so that's our objective, and that's where we're going. And so we appreciate it. And it's been another wonderful day. You can follow me, and I'm gonna give you a chance to give your information too. On Facebook, I'm Oops Lisa Pope LLC is my Facebook page. Oops Lisa Pope LLC is my Facebook page, and my Twitter is Lisa Pope, one word. Lisa Pope, the number 1 word. WORD is my Twitter handle, and allow Alexandra to give you her information. My Instagram is Lisa Pope, one word as well. You follow me on Instagram. I don't really do too much on Instagram, but I'm gonna start.
That's right. Hey.
Go ahead.
Instagram
straight flexing.
Lord,
Gold all of my. That's my daughter made me do that.
Absolutely, that's dope. And you can follow me. I have a Facebook fan page. I post a lot of my before and afters, as well as details on what products I use and just random stuff that I like to talk about. That's facebook.com/Alexandra Butler MUA, makeup artist, because I know some people don't know what MUA is, and that's cool. And then my Twitter as well as my Instagram handle is the MUA Alex. So 2 A's, MUA and Alex. And I have a YouTube page where I originally started this whole makeup phenomenon, where I'm doing tutorials and hair stuff and everything. And that's youtube.com/Alexandra Bond, which is my maiden name, the 007. So, yeah. And that's about
Bond,
it.
B-O-N-D.
B-O-N-D.
Okay, I thought you said Bond. Okay, Bond.
Yep, like
gotcha.
James Bond.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
Give that one up, huh?
I know. So
And
I
my
hold on to it forever
website
right here.
is LisaPopeLLC.com is my website. So it's still in the making. The website is. And so follow me. And also make sure you're here. We'll be back live next Monday at 3 o'clock. I'll see y'all next week.